Hey everybody, this is the Wargaming guy and welcome to our first look overview of WarPlan. Yes, I am back from my trip to Southeast Asia, just got in yesterday. I'm still a little jet lagged, so hopefully that will not affect this video too much, but you never know. As you do know, WarPlan is coming out. It is out today. I am thrilled about that. If you follow my channel much, you know that I've been on the beta team. I've done a lot of beta test videos. But this is version 1, the finished product. It's amazing. It's a great game, and let's talk a little bit about it. You start off here as you go, and here's all the options you can pick. Tons of options. Music volume and sound volume and all those usual things. And a bunch of things over here. Do you want the tooltips on or off? Autosave. Whether you want it to scroll or not, with the mouse or just use the arrow keys. You can do either and or. Battle cam, auto move screen to battle locations. You can center the map around things or not. All this kind of stuff. And statistics and everything else. I mean, there's a ton of options all available for you. Now, let me say, just to get started, Matrix is putting out a series of videos. XTRG is doing them, and they are excellent. If you want to understand the basic mechanics of the game and some of the ways to get into the menus and play some things, I highly recommend you watch those videos. I have watched the ones that have been out so far, and I've learned stuff. XTRG, of course, the master of detail. The guy is amazing. If you ever watched his playing War in the West or War in the East, holy smokes. Just blows my mind. And there you go. Let's see. One of the things which I did, let me check back here. No, that's not what I wanted. Maybe, maybe it is here. No, I don't think so. Okay. All right, we'll just move on here, and we will go to new game, since we have not loaded any games, of course. And here we go. You've got all these different scenarios that you can choose from, and of course you get to choose the side that you want to start, as well as you can give the AI some bonuses in terms of experience and combat effectiveness. We're just going to, for the purposes of this one, we'll just take 1939, take a look at the Axis, at least to start with here. And you get this little summary as you go through. Each one will sort of tell you what's happening. Like here, Germany is about to die. There you go. So anyway, and of course this game does cover the European theater of operations in the Second World War. So you click start, and it takes you through this little run-up as it begins. Moves pretty quickly. I love the graphics on this screen back here, too. The pictures superimposed on the land masses. It's awesome. I think that's a really nice touch. And then you have here the turn report, which gives you the basic historical situation that you're facing. Then you've got scenario notes, Axis victory, take and hold as many objectives as possible for as long as possible throughout the game. The Axis win if they have enough victory points, and Germany or Italy survive until the end of the game. And the Allied victory is take and hold as many objectives as possible for as long as possible throughout the game. The Allies win if they hold enough. Now, the reason I like that is it's a little more real world, like when they sat down to plot out the response to the Axis powers, Churchill and Roosevelt and Stalin didn't say, hey, if we just take these 5 cities, we win. Obviously. So I kind of like that. It tells you when the game ends, August 1st, 1945. So here we go. The Germans start the game at war with the UK, France, Poland, and Germany only surrenders when all the cities with production have been taken. Here's the status of all the other countries. The Ribbentrop Pact, of course, the Ribbentrop Pact. Ribbentrop? Wow. Ribbentrop. Hello. Jet lag. Okay. So it gives us all this information. You can read through all this if you want to. So it's a big, huge scenario description. So that's really great. And then you get into the game. Now, whoa, as you know, This game has a lot going for it, and this is the key up here. The build screen, the convoy screen, achievements, war panel, reports, combat log. When you have new units that will to deploy, this will pop up. You can decide about this if you want control on or off. Hexes to show or not. I always like the hexes to show. Logistics, supply, enemy action. I don't like that one. Weather to show or not. Units. There you go. Trade convoys, and then all these different things that you can check out. So they're all right there for you. The game starts with these. So this unit has basic supply. So does that one. So does that one. And so does that one. Okay. So there you go. Once you click on those little reminders or those little things there, then they go away. You can also get to the options screen this way and check it out as well. So we looked at those. And I'm trying to remember how to change the unit counters, and I don't remember. This is the save button. It drives me crazy. I know it's in here, people. Not sure where. Yeah, that doesn't really help me. Kind of need to see these. Now, in WarPlan, if you haven't seen the game before, unlike most strategic games, there's no fog of war in the sense that, you don't get to see a lot of units. In WarPlan, you see all the units. What you don't see is what the units are about. The further away the unit is from you, like here, the less you know about them. So this will tell you right here what this corps is about, what this corps is about. This corps, who knows? This air unit, it's there. You don't know what it is. So there's an airfield and there's another, and we don't know. So your information is limited, but you see every unit that's on the map. So there's an element of surprise, but not a complete and outright lack of knowledge. Whether you like that or not, I don't know. That's everybody will have to figure that out themselves. To select a unit, very simply left click it. If you want to move it, you move by right clicking. You'll notice these little numbers. This is the amount of points it takes to move into a different hex. When you move into a zone of control, it costs you extra to move, and that's as far as this guy can go. If you want to swap units, you can just if I right click, these two units will swap. I don't want to do that, but that's how to do that. You'll notice, obviously, panzer units can move a lot further. The regular units, and you notice these dark hexes. These are hexes I can get to, but if I move there, I have no ability left to attack. However, if I come here, I do, because I'm only using 6 out of 10 movement points. Therefore, I have movement points left, i.e. time left, to strike with that unit. So the decision is yours. Do you want to move or do you want to attack? You have some flexibility there in what you're going to do. And so that's movement. It's very simple. The air units, and there is stacking here, unlike Strategic Command. I'm going to talk more about SC in a minute. You can stack. So this is the German 4th Army. I click again, and I've got these fighters. And you can see these hexes show I can strike with those fighters. Here's a bomber unit. I can strike with those. And like these guys I can't hit because they're too far away. They are out of range. And I can also move this unit. And you'll notice that it has basically two movement points. So I can move it like to here and attack. If I move it down here, it's not attacking anymore this turn. Just like that. You scroll in and out with your mouse button to scroll the map. It's very smooth, as you can see, and that's as far down as you can get. And then, of course, you have naval units in ports and elsewhere, and they do stack. So we've got, look at this, all these. You can decide if you want to move all of these guys together, but you don't have to. You can either manually click off and click on, or you could just unselect all the groups, or you can select all the groups in the harbor. So you get to choose the makeup of your naval units. Now, for instance, this guy, it's 2 German subgroups. And you know what? I think we're just going to move one. We'll put him out here just for kicks. And we'll pull you up here. See if anything comes to that. I don't actually know how much playing I'm going to actually do in this video. I don't think I really am. And of course, all the way down here is the North African front, and you can see that's the end of the map. It does cover the Middle East. These hexes down here are resources in the Pacific. You really, the Axis can't really get to them. I suppose maybe if you came over here and invaded, but I don't think so. Now, you'll notice on the map, you've got things like this. This is obviously an oil field. So those are resource points. You have lots of oil in the Middle East. And, of course, you've got lots of oil here in the Caucasus. That's why Hitler wanted it, because he needed the oil. Then you've got things like this. This is not oil. This, however, is iron ore, which you also need. So, and this would be food, wheat, things like agriculture, let's call it that. So, all of these resources, if you capture them, then you get a chunk of that, which adds to the number of units you can build each turn, adds to your ability to supply your units. Oil is very important in this game. Without oil, you're not going anywhere. So, this is the build screen. You want to build something, you click on it to see, say, suppose you want to build an armored corps. Oh, look, I can't afford it this turn. What about a mechanized corps? No, the Germans can't afford that. A mountain corps? No. Yes, we can build paratroopers, a marine division or whatever. And then you can select the country. You can give it a custom name if you wish. You can also build an HQ. And you get to choose between these two things. Now, if I wasn't playing the 1939 scenario, there'd be 39 and 40 or 41 or whatever. And so, obviously, throughout the war, the units changed and research changed. Things improved, and that shows in the game. So, here's your Navy if you want to build some more. You could build a carrier group. Oh, can't afford it. How about the Air Force? Yes, you've got ground attack, TAC air, strategic, and air superiority groups, and you can't build a single one this turn if you're the Germans. So tough, too bad for you. And support. All kinds of things here. Landing ships, transports, oilers, trucks, which can be very handy for supply air transport, shipyards, airfields, all these things. All these things are available, and you can decide, say, I want to buy an airfield. There you go. It takes 45 days to build. All that good stuff. And obviously, each country has that. So the Italians have it. Here's the kind of things you can look at that. But you can't afford it, of course. Navy, can't afford anything. Army, what can you afford? Not much. Nothing. So the Italians start off pretty worthless. Which is historically accurate, at least at this point in the game. So here you go. So the goal of the game is not just to capture the capital. Obviously, you want the capital of any country, but just because you take Warsaw, for example, does not mean the Poles will surrender. Just because you take Paris, in France, does not mean that the French will surrender, because they may not, probably won't actually, unless you come down here and take a few more of these towns and resources. You take enough and they'll surrender. Here's the war panel, for example, France. You can see we are not at war with them. Yes, we are at war with them, because I can't declare war on them. Here you can declare war, you can influence. There's even this ability with some nations, not others, to intimidate them. I can try to intimidate people into doing what I want them to do. This is influence, like diplomacy, okay? And so you can scroll down. If the Turks are beginning to annoy you, you can try diplomacy, but maybe you just rather say, hey, something bad might happen if you don't do what we want, Spain. You know what I mean? So there you go. And, of course, the Italians can do the same as well, except they can't because they're actually not in the game yet. They're not at war. So there you go. Here's your reports. You got forces. This is actually something which I have not used nearly enough, but it will help you track what's going on in the game. Casualties, obviously, the war hasn't started yet, but if you want to follow the casualties and units. This also I haven't used very much, but I think it's really important. And down here, you'll notice, for example, you've got location, effectiveness, country. Let's go back. Can we go back to the Germans? There. Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. There we go. Let's just... Yeah, let's... Can I select one here? Okay, I can click that and I go to the unit. There we go. So that tells us a little bit about it. Strength, reinforcement, supply levels. So there you go. You can cover all that in the game and check that out if you want to. So those are just some of the things you can do. Like I said, this will tell you if you've got something to deploy. Here's some units coming up that are not ready yet. So that will be happening. And yeah, these are the logistic lines, so the rail lines. So you want to obviously cut those off and keep your own open, which will help you beat the enemy. And so that's a little overview of that. Now, combat in this game is pretty straightforward, but it's a little different because the odds don't quite stack up the way you might think. For example, that's 4-to-1 odds. Okay, that's not bad. But a lot of times in the game, you're going to come up against things that you might think would be really good, but they're not. 10-to-1, that's excellent. Oh, let me take that off. Whoops. There. Okay, that's better. So a lot of times, 3-to-1 odds, which in some games is great, is not great in this game. You can attack at 3-to-1. You're probably okay. 2-to-1's really dicey. You really want 4-to-1 and up, quite frankly. And when you attack, you lose strength, of course. You have casualties. So that's something to remember. So let's just... See, now that's 1-to-2. You don't want to do that. And look at that. This guy is dug in. So that's part of our problem here. So now let's say we got some nice ground attack units here. Obviously, in a real game, I'm not wasting my Stuka on him. There you go. I hit him, dropped him one. That's it. So let's bring this guy over. Oh, didn't get a thing out of him. Didn't get a thing. So now I'm going to come here. And look at that. That's only 3-to-1. It's 17-to-2, but he's dug in behind the river, so it's 3-to-1. Now, if you hold down the control key, now I've added this guy, and it's still only 4-to-1. And look at that. Now, he can't attack anymore. Boom, pushed him back. Now, you can advance. Now, you'll notice I'm really getting good there. And here we go. So, let's say I come down here. So, okay. So I managed to beat him. You can see the line of hexes here that I control where supply can flow through. But I took a little bit of a beating there as well. So think about that when you attack. You really want to group attacks together when you can, because otherwise it gets nasty. Look at that, 2-to-1. 20-to-3, and it's 2-to-1 odds. And nothing happened. See, that's the... So it looks like, well, we're just going to walk all over these guys. Well, maybe not. So you need to keep that in your mind. Look at that. He held there even though we hurt him. Now he's gone. So now you can like bring this guy down here. He can't attack, but he's moved down there. So let's see if we can beat this guy up. Just to kind of show you how the game works. We're going to pull you down here. Ooh, beautiful. I like that. Yeah, let's do that. That'll sever the rail line, which is good. Okay, so if I move there, I can't attack. So let's not do that. Let's do this. See, look at that. That is not what I wanted to see happen. So I captured Lotz, but I'm going to get that. Now I may get cut off next turn because of that. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see if I do that there. See, you got to make some tough choices here. This isn't all like a walk in the park. 5-1 odds. I thought I would have done better. Boom. Finally got him moving. Can't attack anymore. We'll pull you up here. Krakow. We'll take a crack at Krakow. And, sorry. So sorry. And here we go. So you can see, we'll put these guys together. Just hold the control key down. Pick as many units as you want. And boom, we got Krakow. But that's it. So, that's just, and I'm not saying any of these are really good moves that I've just made. I'm just showing you how things work. Because quite frankly, they're probably not very good moves. But, oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but okay. And we'll pull you down here. And that's it. So, yeah, let's just do a little marauding here to see what happens. So that's a little bit of an overview on how things go. Obviously, you do not want to attack at those odds. And we shall pull you up here just to keep him honest. And that's kind of sort of it. From there, the play of the game is pretty simple and straightforward. A lot of complexity here that I haven't covered, but those are kind of you can start rolling just with that. Now, the AI in this game, the game itself processes things really quickly. I mean, really fast, okay? Can't get him in there, but I can get him there. So keep that in mind. Because I think the AI in this game, it's really quick. Let's just see what happens here. If you've never seen this, here we go. We're going to go ahead and end the turn. And we will let the computer run. Interesting. Okay, they're bombing Essen. The Poles are pulling back towards Warsaw. The French are redeploying, getting ready, or they think they're getting ready anyway. And there you go. 8 units remaining to execute orders. Okay, a little more of the air war going on in the west, and that's it. You get a report on what happened. Apparently not much did. And there you go. And now we're ready for another turn. So you will not spend a lot of time waiting for the game in terms of combat results being processed and things like that. The game is fast. All right, let's just see if we can take Warsaw. That'd be a fun way to end. Whoops. Come on, let's hit him again. Nope. You're probably too far back. I should have moved you up. I should have done a lot of things, but I didn't. Because I'm too busy talking to play smart. Story of my life right there, people. All right, let's go ahead and pound Posen. Can I get good? We'll take Warsaw. That's what we want to see. Beautiful. All right. Ooh. Yeah, let's do this. So. No, not good. There we go. And we're going to let the infantry march into victory. Now, like I said, this does not mean that they're going to surrender, okay? Remember that there's something here that is a little different than a lot of games. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to running some units around here to keep them honest. All right, let's send you over here. Send you over there. Can't quite make it. Pull you down here. I guess we'll... Can't attack them, but at least we know where they are. Let's do that over here. Let's put you this way. Obviously, I'm not taking really hardly any time to figure out what I'm doing. I'm just, for the sake of this little overview that we're doing here. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's see if we can kill Posan, shall we? Oh, yes, we can. And 5-1. Now it's going to be considerably less, only 3-1. And let's see. That was not good. Didn't think it would be, but come on. Really? Lame. Lame, I say it's lame. My boys are not fighting like I want them to. 3-1 and nothing. All right, enough of that. Let's get him. Yeah, we'll just stack him. Why not? I forget sometimes you can stack in this game. And so there you go. So let's see what happens. You've captured Warsaw and wiped out a lot of units. Have we done enough to make Poland surrender? I doubt it. Let's find out. Probably. They did. So there you go. So, Poland in 2 terms. Enemy fleet not found. Okay. Enemy fleet still not found. Bombing of Cologne still happening. And the French are probably going to move around a little bit. And that's it. Now, I said a minute ago that we would talk more about strategic command. Obviously, the question here is, how does this game compare to SC War in Europe? Because it covers the exact same thing, right? It's the European theater in World War II. Both games covered from a strategic level. Both games are roughly, there we go, Poland surrenders, the Soviet Union occupied the East half, all that good stuff. They roughly are at the same scale or pretty close, and all that. And my answer is they're so different, it's really hard to compare them. By the way, here's what happens. You want to deploy. Let's say, okay, so you click the deploy button, and then look, it lights up for you. And since this is where we're going next, we're going to deploy these boys down here because that's where they need to be. Motorized corps will go here. Okay. Oh, and the 12th division. Actually, it's a division. We'll put it over here near the border just to keep everybody happy. The Italians, no. Okay. It plays so differently that it's very hard to compare it. And I've played quite a bit of WarPlan. If you watch my beta videos, you know that. I still love Strategic Command, but I love this game too. It's a very different feel when you're playing it. I think my style of playing is different. This game is, to me, easier to be really hyper-aggressive. You can take huge losses that way. You can also have huge victories. It models Blitzkrieg pretty darn well, I think. It's heavier on the economic end of things with oil. I think for the German player in particular, oil is a real challenge in this game. At least it's been that way for me. Once you get to Barbarossa, then the screws start tightening, if you will. So I don't know how most of you play Barbarossa. I tend to go the Moscow road, but given this game's real hard, tough emphasis on oil, I suspect that most people are going to be aiming into the south too, so that you can, obviously not in 41, but maybe in 42, pick up some of these things because you're going to need it. And maybe it will make people focus more on the African campaign. We did not get into the North African campaign because the Africa Corps obviously isn't here yet, but it has a few issues of its own, but it's there, and we will definitely play it later. I'm going to be starting a series on this either this week. I might push it back into next week. I don't know yet. It's going to depend on time tomorrow for me. But we will start a playthrough. I'm not sure from which side, so if you have any thoughts, would you rather see it from the German side, which is kind of the traditional way. Most people start off with these kind of games. They'll play the Germans first, and then they'll do the Allies, or maybe I should counter-program the other channels here on YouTube and start with the Allies. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll think about it, and we'll see what happens. But that's an overview and a first look at WarPlan. I really encourage you to go get it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And we really want to support a brilliant new designer like this, a new game system, so that he can do more, so that we can maybe go to the Pacific with this or go worldwide with this, depending on which avenue he wants to take in his next game or DLC or whatever. But we want to support this because this is good for the hobby. So personally, I love Strategic Command. I'm going to keep playing it. I love WarPlan. I'm going to keep playing it. So I hope you'll check both out and have fun with both. So that's going to do it for my little review here. Until next time, this is the Wargaming Guy saying thanks for watching out there. Take care, everybody, and I will see you later.